While Johnny Healy was doing a masterclass on averages, he included an extra bit on averaging continuous data. He's with 20 Year 9s from 2 North London schools.
There you go, Clint. Come on in. Nice to meet you. Keep chatting. If you've got a company or a business or a factory, could you stand right over here? Excellent. All nice and friendly, together. Lovely. Could you turn over your cards? On the back of the cards, we've got a number. In fact, it's a value of money, OK? Now, let's say, Caesar, you've got £6, which means that Caesar's company is making a profit of £6 per hour. £6 every hour. Oh, dear. You're only making a profit of £1 an hour. What have you called your company?
Gloves at First Sight.
Glove at First Sight. Oh. Do you know what? I went down to a Keel shop the other day and I bought a sample of his gloves. Here, try those on, Ben. Check them out. Yeah, you try those on, Yusuf. I think they're definitely your shade. Like him. Would you like to try those on, Melanie?
They don't fit me.
They really don't fit you. Are you listening, Akil? Where are your fingers, mate? Oh, they're under there somewhere. Bit wiggly. Bit wiggly. Have we got a problem here?
Yeah.
What's wrong with these gloves?
The size.
Very small or very big? Yeah.
Maybe you could find the average of like everyone's hand size or something like that.
Hand sizes?
Fingers.
Yeah, what? Average length of fingers?
Yeah.
What a great idea, Vista. Give her a round of applause. Now, we've all got a ruler. Use your index finger. That's your index finger, the big one. I'd like to measure from your knuckle, your bottom knuckle, OK, to the top of your nail. Can you measure to the nearest millimetre, if you can? The nearest millimetre. I'd like to write that number down in centimetres. It's quite hard to measure, isn't it? 9.9? Go with that?
Yep.
Yep, 9.9. OK. Go on.
10.
10 point...
10.
Just 10?
Yeah.
10.0. Can anyone beat 10.0? 10. You got 10.0 as well. So the longest finger in the room is 10.0. OK. How long's your finger, Ben?
7.5.
7.5. So your range is 10.0 minus 7.5. So we've got a range of 2.5 centimetres. Interesting. OK. Right. If you are a 7-point-something person, like Ben, can you come up? Come on, Ben. Hello, Ben. He's a 7-point-something, isn't he? Have we got any 8-point-somethings in here? Come on, up you come. 8-point-something. It could be 8.0, it could be 8.9, it could be 8.4. Excellent. Could you all stand in a line behind Clint? You 8-point-somethings. Yeah, that's better. Stand in a line. So we've got 1, 4. Right, 9-point-somethings here. It's going to be a lot of you. OK. Stand in a line behind Agni and Mitchell. They're at the front. So go. That's it. 2 by 2. That's it. All behind there. Which leaves the 10-point-somethings, doesn't it? You two. 10-point-something over here. OK, we've got you 3. You 3. Are you all 10-point-noughts?
Yeah.
OK. So we've got everybody here. We've got 7-point, 8-point, 9-point, 10-point. OK. So I better just make a note of these values. 7-point-somethings. That was Ben, so that's one person. OK. We've got how many 8 points?
8.4.
There's 4 of you for 8-point, OK. How many for 9-point? Quite a lot of you. 12. Yeah, which must leave 3 people for the 10-point. Brilliant. Sit yourselves down. OK, so I've made a note of these. There are frequencies. OK, what I'd like you to do now with your clipboards is find a table that looks like that. It's got 4 columns this time. And what does it say on the first column?
Length of finger.
Length of finger. What letter do you think I've used for length?
L.
L. Yeah? L just stands for the length, OK? Got the length of finger and the frequency. I've gone for 7-point, 8-point, 9-point, 10-point. Not really happy about that. 7 point something, 8 point. Should we write the word something? Is that a bit silly? Yeah. 8 point something. Could anyone be really clever and tell me how best to explain what I'm going to try and write here? Yeah, Isabel, go on.
Class width.
What do you say?
Class width.
Ah, we could do class width. So you're saying this is class width. The length of the finger is a class width. And how would you write that down?
Well, 7.0
Yeah.
less than
Oh,
L.
stop talking. I can tell she knows what she's doing. Up you come. 7.0. Just try and write it down here. Are you right-handed? That's it. 7.0. L. Okay. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Give her a round of applause. That is good. She's used inequalities, right? That is good. She's used inequalities. And I like that. Because it's a more advanced sort of mathematical approach, isn't it? I'm a little bit unhappy about it because... was anybody 8 exactly? 8.0. Was anyone 8.0? No. Was anyone 9.0? You were 9.0. If we just move on, and I know we had some 10.0s, you were 9.0. So if we continued that pattern there, then could we say that you belonged in this interval here if it was greater than 9.0?
No.
Not really. So what could we do to adjust Isabel's brilliant thinking? Any ideas? Yep.
You could, rather than 7.9, you could make it 8.
Yep. Okay. I actually like what you've just said there. Some of you might not like that. But if I put a strictly less than 8, it means anything up to 8.0, doesn't it?
What you could do is, instead of just having that less than thing, put the line underneath it saying less than or equal to.
Right. On the first one?
On both of them.
Brilliant. Now we've got it. Okay? What we're saying now is it can be anything from 0.0 and upwards, but less than the next whole number. So it includes 0.9, but it doesn't include 8, because 8.0 will be on the next one, won't it? Can you see that? Okay, could you write down the rest of those inequalities just in that column there? Okay, so we've got 8 or 8.0. I might just put 8, actually. Someone said what they were, didn't you? You again, Isabel, wasn't it? What are they called, these things?
Class width.
Class widths. Excellent. Sometimes we can call them class intervals. Have you heard of that one before? Yep. Intervals, yep. So 9, 10, 10. Right, brilliant. So we've got our class intervals. It's very important that we use these ideas here, this inequality idea, because we're dealing with what we call continuous data. You know, when we're measuring lengths, we can only measure them to the accuracy of what we're measuring with, what we're using, which is a ruler, isn't it? To the nearest millimetre is asking quite a lot, isn't it? It's not like counting sweets. That wasn't continuous data. Does anyone know what sort of data that is? When it's like, can only take certain values. Yep.
Discrete.
Discrete data, yeah? Can only take certain values, usually whole numbers. But discrete data could be shoe size, because that's only certain numbers, isn't it? Like, but you can still have half sizes, so 9.5, 10. Discrete data. This is continuous. Brilliant. So we've got continuous data in class intervals, okay? And what was your term? What did you say? Class
Width.
widths. Yep, they've got the same class width. The class width is 1 centimetre, isn't it? Okay, brilliant. Now then, this is quite interesting. I want to focus on this large group here between 9 and 10. There were 12 of you, yeah? Stand up if you were in between 9 and 10. You 12 people, yeah? All of you, put your fingers up. Okay? What can I estimate? What can I use as an estimate for all your finger lengths? Yep. 9 point?
5.
What do you think?
9.5.
9.5? What do you think?
9.5.
What do you think?
9.5.
And do you think 9.5?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's the middle amount, it's
The
basically the
middle
average.
amount, the midpoint. Sit down. Brilliant. So, the midpoint makes sense. What I'd like you to do... So what should we say for 7.0 to 8? 7.5. It might be actually that we don't know the data. We might have just been given this information. Okay? So, I mean, we actually do know what Ben's finger was. And what was it in the end?
7.5.
It was 7.5 anyway. There you go, bit of luck. But it could have been anything. If we go in the middle, it reduces the possible error, doesn't it? Okay, because you'll find that lower values will tend to balance out higher ones. Brilliant. So work out your midpoints. Can we work out an estimate now for the mean? Millimo, what would you do, mate?
Times the frequency by the midpoint.
Frequency by the midpoint, yeah. So what would we get here? 7.5, 1 times 7.5, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'd say frequency times...
Midpoint.
I'm with you. So now we're working at the total length of the fingers now, aren't we, basically? And then what would we do then?
4 times 8.5.
And carry that on.
Yeah.
Then we find a... Right. Okay, so we're going to find a total length of finger, a total estimated length of all your fingers, and divide it by...
By 20 to get the mean.
The number of your fingers. Okay, we've got 187 divided by 20. I think that's what everybody's been getting. Divided by 20. So we're getting an answer of 9.35 centimetres. Okay, 9.35 centimetres. Let's just have a quick check. What would the mode be? Is there a mode?
It's the modal class.
Brilliant. A modal class or a modal class interval. Excellent. What is the modal class interval?
9 to 10.
Brilliant. So the mean's in that modal class, which is looking good. Okay, that's looking good. So the mode, or the modal, I should say, modal class interval, or the modal class. Yep, and that's, what is it, between 9 and 10. Okay, yep, that's looking good. You rounded yours off, didn't you, Isabel, to... You rounded it off, go on, what did you round it off to?
9.
And you've crossed it out! Why did you cross it out? Because you thought it was wrong? She's rounded it off to 9. Any other rounding suggestions? Or should we leave it as it is? Leave it? I'm not so happy about leaving it, actually. There is a reason. Agni?
I rounded mine off to 9
You rounded yours to 9. Did you cross yours out?
at the first, and then I wrote it again.
Oh, right, you see, you're crossing out, writing it again. Hey, I don't mind, yeah?
You made a mistake.
I made a mistake? Surely
9.
not. What have I done?
9 is less than or equal to you.
Oh, they put it the wrong way round. I did that on purpose, just to check you were awake, yeah? Do you believe me? Okay. Right then, thank you for that. Much better, thank you. Goodness me, I'm glad you spotted that. Now then, so what we're going to go for? 9. Any other suggestions for rounding?
9.4.
9.4. Do you know what? We have to think about the accuracy of our original data. How accurate was that? What did we measure it to? No, when we actually measured our fingers, to start off with, that's the original data, to the nearest millimetre, to the nearest 0.1 centimetres. So we only measured it to an accuracy of 1 decimal place, didn't we? So we certainly don't want to be more accurate than 1 decimal place. I think 9.4 is a reasonable estimate for the mean. Okay? You could argue that the girls saying 9 is even a better estimate, because at the end of the day, it's a rough estimate, isn't it? And there's almost certainly a few mistakes in measuring, okay? Because it's so hard to measure to the nearest millimetre. Brilliant. So I like your answers. We're looking at 9 centimetres for the mean. We're looking at the modal class between 9 and 10. It's pretty good. So what we're saying really is, yeah, Akil, we can give you some advice, can't we, mate? What do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think we could make you have some gloves that... what sort of finger length are we looking for? What are you going to make?
Around 9.4
About around 9.4. What if the machines only do them to, like, you know, nearest centimetres?
and 9.
9, yeah. What about a few 10s? Should we give him... Do you think you should do a few 10s? Yeah. And then what? Loads and loads of, like, 7s and 8s, maybe? Maybe not. Maybe not. Yeah? Maybe not, because there's not so many. So you've got to think about the data and maybe use it to help your business. There is another average that we haven't considered here. The median, yeah? All right, what's the median? What's the median? Any ideas?
The median would be one of the lines in between 9.0 and 9.9.
So you're saying the median is in the...
It's in the modal class, actually.
Convince me.
Well, because there's 20 different hand sizes in the frequency.
Yep.
You know, and so the median number is in between 10 and 11, and that happens to be in the same modal class actually. So
Brilliant.
In fact, it is the modal class. To be honest.
Okay, so the median number you said is between the 10th and the 11th value. Okay, right. And there's one person with a length of 8 or less, isn't there? Sorry, less than 8. Okay. There's one person with a length less than 8. How many people less than 9? No. How many people less than 9? 5. Think about it. Okay. What do you say? It's a cumulative frequency in disguise. What does cumulative frequency help us do? Add them all together so it keeps a running total. So what are we going to write here? 17, because you're saying that 17 people, I'm beginning to understand what you said now. 17 people have finger lengths less than 10, don't they? So how many people have finger lengths less than 11? 20. All of you. Brilliant. So what we're saying then is that the median, Emil, the median is somewhere in here.
Yep.
Because this takes you from, what is it, the shortest 5 fingers up to nearly all the fingers. So it's somewhere in there, isn't it? What could we do to get a better estimate of that median? We could state the median class interval. In fact, Emil was trying to tell me about that. So we could actually say the modal class interval is that. We could say, or the median. Could we say that, Emil? Just to check I've got written down what you said. We could say it was the median class interval, couldn't we? Could we use anything else to get a better estimate?
Could we draw a cumulative frequency graph?
Graph. Right then. Now, just to give you a rough idea, okay, we've got cumulative frequency going up from 0 up to 20, okay, and we've got your fingers. Now then, we've got 4 class widths or class intervals. So what we could actually do is, I'll just pop those on there, like that, is put our lengths here, 8, 9, 10, 11. Have I gone up high enough? Yeah, I reckon so. Mia, if you come up to the board, what we're going to do on a cumulative frequency graph is we're going to show the information that the cumulative frequency tells us. And you might want to put some numbers on here if you want. Do you want to put some extra numbers on? Okay. Yeah. There's one person who has a length less than 8 centimetres, okay? Okay, one person is less than 8. So there's 8. That's it, so exactly. Brilliant. Okay, can we all see that, folks? There's 5 people who are less than 9. So where's that next point going to go? Very important. So can you see here that we're keeping a running total on the y-axis, the vertical axis, and here we're plotting the top. We're plotting the top point of the class interval, not the midpoint. That's often a big error that people make when they draw these graphs. They accidentally plot the midpoint. But we're not talking about midpoint here, are we, for the median? We're talking about the end point, because we're saying under 8, under 9, under 10, OK? So the next one is going to be, what's that going to be then? 17. Yeah, OK, just do it by eye. That's very good. And last one. OK. Yay! 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 You may have come across these graphs before. They take a general sort of curly shape. So I'm going to do a curve because I'm feeling a curve coming on. Am I doing well? That was not bad, was it? Thank you. Yay. It's got to do it nice and smooth. It's a sort of a little S shape. You can join it up with straight lines as well. You might get different results doing both ways because we're always talking about estimates here. So remember, we can be a bit rougher. And actually, let's think about where the median is. There's 20 fingers. Where's the median?
9 point something.
20 numbers. 10. So don't we want 10 on each side? Yeah. So 1 to 10's here. If we're all laid out from 1 to 20, 1 to 10, then we'd have a gap. Then we'd have 11 to 20, wouldn't we? So the median would be 10.5, technically, because it's an estimation, we can actually just use 10 as a rough estimate for the median, because it's a rough graph. It's got estimated values, yeah? So it's common practice to actually go for 10, even though technically the median's 10.5, isn't it? Okay, so if we just draw a line across to 10 and bring this down, now let's see what it's giving us. Maybe from where you're sitting, can you tell me what you reckon is a good estimate? I've deliberately not put numbers on. 9.7? 9.6. I'm going for 9.6. Okay. So the median is 9.6. That advice we gave you, okay? Buy a few 9s, buy a few 10s. Brilliant. So often we have to put the information from averages together to get the information that we want. So remember one thing from me today. If your average is good, then your numbers can be understood. Give yourselves a round of applause. Well done.